used to live on the farm, and so the fields in the background. My papa used to have it all, and so like he was the big person with it, and he always was like making sure that we were around and we knew everything that we were doing. I've always been in it, and working it has always been something too. We have a farm store, Berrytown, that my grandmother and my nanny used to have in, so that I used to work there too, like very, very young, and then now we have our own things that I am still doing that I've always done.
Welcome to the Louisiana Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Allie Shipley, and today we are in the Louisiana Farm Bureau State Office talking with our newly crowned Louisiana Farm Bureau Queen, Ms. Jean Treas.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you've had a busy morning touring our office and getting oriented. You've really hit the ground running, so we appreciate you taking the time to sit with us on an already busy day.
Of course, yes.
Okay, first off, let's start off with telling us a little bit about yourself and just a little bit about the new queen and who you are.
Yeah. So I'm from Tangipahoa Parish. I'm 19 years old. I attend Southeastern Louisiana University. I'm currently pursuing a degree in OSHA, so occupational health and safety. We have a 5th generation farm in Amite, Louisiana called Louisiana Family Farm. There I do office work, I run the farm market, and I do field trip tours for my aunt's agritourism program.
That's awesome. That's really cool. See, I'm learning. We were sitting here visiting, and I was like, I don't want to ask you any of these questions off camera because I feel like these are all the questions you're going to ask today. Mm-hmm. Where are you in your studies at Southeastern? And kind of tell us a little bit about, I know you just told me what your major is, but what your career plans are with that.
So I'm going into my sophomore year, and I kind of scaled back on my classes this semester to be able to really fully immerse myself in this. I plan to do farm consulting with it. If not, then OSHA is very diverse, and so I can go into a lot of different things with it.
Awesome. For somebody who may not know, what is kind of OSHA's role in the consulting world on the farm?
So just make sure safety and everything is good. You can do food audit, all of the things that go into making sure that the business can stay running.
Awesome. Our safety department is going to love to hear that part.
Yeah.
I kind of want to jump back. You touched on it a little bit, but you are not new to agriculture, and you're not having to learn about the ag part of this new role. So can you tell me a little bit more about your family operation, your role in it, and just kind of what it's like growing up on a produce farm?
So it's nothing that I don't know how to go from the other perspective of it because I've always just been in it. I've always remembered, like, we used to live on the farm, and so the fields in the background. My papa used to have it all, and so like he was the big person with it, and he always was like making sure that we were around and we knew everything that we were doing. We used to fold boxes when we were really young, and that was like our chore of the around the farm. We used to run on all the boxes and everything. So I've always been in it, and working it has always been something too. We have a farm store, Berrytown, that my grandmother and my nanny used to have in, so that I used to work there too, like very, very young, and then now we have our own things that I am still doing that I've always done.
Okay, so what does y'all's family grow? I know strawberries, but is that the only produce y'all are growing over there, or what else is on the operation?
Strawberries are our main thing. We do a lot of cabbage, but then we also do a lot of different things. So we do a bunch of different peppers, which bell peppers, serranos, poblanos, a lot of different like little snacking things. We do eggplant, potatoes, sweet potatoes, gallias, cantaloupe.
What's a gallia?
So it's a version of a cantaloupe. It's green on the inside like a honeydew. It's a little bit more tender, and it's a lot more sweet. So a lot of people come for the gallias because they like it a little bit better than the cantaloupe.
Huh, I have never heard of that. See, you learn something new every day. I'm gonna have to try that. That sounds amazing. Produce farming is kind of even different in this organization. Like, it's not as common as some of our row crop farming. And I grew up on a rice, soybean, and crawfish farm in Southwest Louisiana, so the produce side is foreign to me, and I know, honestly, probably a lot of people in our organization too, as our row crop and production ag being a little bigger. Can you tell me what a day in the life of your role in the farm kind of looks like, or even a week, what your normal week looks like just in terms of the farming operation?
So it changes daily, obviously. Majority of the time I'm at the market, so I'm at the farm to table part of things where I'm selling all of our products to customers. Other than that, I'll be in the office and I'll check all the coolers, and when we have shipments going out, I'm making sure that we had the checklist right. I'm doing invoices and all that not fun stuff. And then when it's coming time for our field trip season, my aunt has an agritourism program, and so I'll do a field trip tours with that for her, and that is probably my favorite thing to do, but it only happens seasonally. So when I'm not in season for field trips, I go and do the farm store and the market.
Awesome. Let's talk about the farmer's market a little bit. What is your favorite part of that experience? I mean, getting to talk directly to consumers and being able to sell farm-to-table products is pretty cool. So can you just tell us a little bit about what that experience is like and what you get to learn or see on a daily basis doing that work?
So at the market, the farm to table, I think one of the most enjoyable things is when you have somebody who's really curious and they want to know. And so if somebody asks, what's a golly, and I get to explain that, that's really fun.
Or you can do it on the podcast.
Yeah, do it on the podcast. That's probably the most enjoyable part about it, and especially if somebody's like, oh, well, I really want some milk. And so then I'll go down the line and say, well, we have all these great farmers around here, and also connect people to other farmers and ranchers locally, and so it just creates that connections around circle.
Well, that seems like a great way to tag into the other part of this podcast is your role as the Louisiana Farm Bureau Queen. If somebody's listening to this podcast, if it's some of our farmers that maybe don't attend our convention or just haven't been at the Queen's contest, can you kind of explain what the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation Queen is and what the job responsibilities per se are for that role?
So the Louisiana Farm Bureau Queen to me is the face of the Federation. It's somebody who you'll be able to see and recognize in public and be able to talk with her and ask any questions that you'd like to know about the Federation, about farming and ranching, and then also just to have podcasts and to talk with her about. Yeah.
It's a lot like the farmer's market, just on a different scale, I guess.
And a lot more prettied up.
I don't know. I'm sure you look really good at the farmer's market, too. We might have to do a story there so we can see. Can you tell me a little bit about the experience of convention and just what that experience is like as a Queen contestant for somebody who may be interested in maybe doing this one day?
So I did it for 2 years, and then before that I went as just my parents' daughter, sit into meetings and all that, the great stuff. I find it's a great thing for all of our farmers and ranchers who live further apart to be able to come together, talk about things, and it's kind of like a little fun get-together for everybody. As a Queen's contestant, it's really great for us, for the girls, to be able to have a connection from all the different parishes. It creates friendships. I have a good friendships from girls that I've met from the previous years and then going on to this year, and it's just something that I find builds really good relationships.
If somebody's listening and they're like, okay, I really don't understand why there's a queen for agriculture and it's just a weird dynamic, it's another pageant, what would you say to that person about the Louisiana Farm Bureau crown and title?
I'd say that it is not a pageant, it's a contest, and it's truly a based off of your knowledge and how well you can represent agriculture. I believe that the Louisiana Farm Bureau Queen truly is somebody that is a face in advocating for agriculture, and that it's not a pageant.
Well, I think you're proof of that. You've already hit the ground running from what I've seen. So can you give us a little bit of insight into what your year has looked like so far in the last, I guess, half of a month, not even a full month?
So far as the Farm Bureau Queen, I went to the Paper Day events in Bogalusa. We had a really great time over there. And then that same day, I went to the Delcombe Shrimp Social in Delcombe. I went to the fast food farm in Gramercy, and then I went to the Delcombe Shrimp Pageant last Saturday night.
You've obviously had a very busy almost month so far. What's the coolest thing you've learned, or something you've gained insight to that you wouldn't have gotten if you weren't in this position?
So I really enjoyed the Ag in the Classroom event that we had at the fast food farm. We were able to teach teachers how to incorporate agriculture into their learning and into their lessons, no matter if they were math or an ag teacher.
That's awesome. Was there a pretty good turnout of teachers that gave up some of their summer days?
I would say so. I think there was about 30 teachers there.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's always a good event, and props to you for bearing the heat, because I hear that's always a very hot one, so yes. We appreciate that. Okay, so we've talked about you, we've talked about the convention and all the things of that, and we've talked about what you've done so far, but let's look ahead to the year ahead. What are you most excited about, or what are the things, again, if somebody's listening and has no idea, what does the rest of your year look like, and what of that are you looking forward to the most?
I'm really excited to be able to go to different events for different bigger agriculture festival queens and all the things, to be able to see and immerse myself into different like sugarcane and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we've talked a lot about the state level, but you also get an opportunity to travel out of the state, isn't that correct?
DC Mardi Gras. I don't know too much about it, but I'm really excited to be able to go and experience it. I've seen a lot of my friends do so, and so I'm excited to be able to do so.
It's going to be a highlight of your year for sure. It's always such a fun one.
That's what it says.
Let's pretend that I was one of the judges and was asking, what do you hope to accomplish as Louisiana Farm Bureau Queen? What do you hope you look back on this year and are able to leave or take with you?
I said this in my onstage question, and I really think this is something that I would like for our culture to change in agriculture. So for people to have a more positive idea on agriculture, and that they want their culture of agriculture in their parishes to become better, so that everybody is able to meet local farmers and do what we need to do to make sure generational farms are able to sustain themselves.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I was also a State Farm Bureau Queen, and we're kind of joking about it before, but this is such a unique tradition to Louisiana and to our state organization. And President Fontenot, we had on the podcast in our last episode, and he was talking about how out-of-state guests were there and just were blown away by our convention. And this truly is like one of the most unique parts of our convention, along with our youth contest. And I think it's just such an important part and unique way for us to get agriculture out of our echo chamber a little bit.
And it helps the younger generations also want to be involved and want to see what the older generation's doing.
You've talked about how before you were a Queen's contestant, you came to convention with your parents, and you weren't a contestant. What made you want to be the Louisiana Farm Bureau Queen? Did you have an aspiration to do this, or was it just somebody asked you and you're like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot.
There was a lot of people that were asking if I was going to do it, and I had never done a pageant before, and I was like, I'm not too sure about this. I mean, I am a farm kid, but I do like to dress up, and so that was where, like, me and my mom had the conversation. It was like, I think you should try it. I think you should do it. And after I competed the first year, it was really like, okay, I want this. This is something that I believe I'd do very well in, and that's how it came to be.
Jean, I know you're pretty new into this role, and we really threw you in the spotlight on your first trip back into the state office since you've been crowned. But is there anything that we haven't touched on, or anything else you want us to know about you, your background, or what you're looking forward to as Queen?
I'd say that I'm a pretty open book, and I think we covered everything during this interview.
Well, that's great. And again, we're just hitting the ground running. And if anybody else wants to keep up with your travels, there's a Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation Queen Instagram and Facebook page. They can follow you there, where you're going to keep us up to date on all of your year, which we're really looking forward to. Just sitting here with you today, you're obviously a natural fit for this, and I think you're going to do a great job. Thank you again, Jean, for joining us. We appreciate you sitting down with us and letting us learn more about you and your year ahead.
Thank you.
If you would like to learn more about Jean or the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation Queen, or any of the things that we've talked about today, we'll add all of that in our show notes. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Podcast.